We opened our doors for business in London over 40 years ago, and we're still trading on the same values now as we did then. Professional, dedicated and trusted. We are the MECO Group.
Today I'm going to talk about the subject of defending demurrage claims in circumstances where loading's been delayed, partly because there's no cargo available at the load port and partly because there's been bad weather. How does a charterer limit his demurrage exposure in this kind of situation? Well, the first thing to note is the statement of facts. That's going to be the starting place in any kind of dispute about this, and it's very, very important for you as charterer to ensure as far as you can that the statement of facts records the maximum safe loading conditions for the method of loading that you have in mind, any periods of bad weather or other matters which prevent loading, and to get the master to sign that, acknowledging that he recognises that loading wasn't possible in those particular periods. That's your starting place. If you get that done properly, you have a very good chance of having any bad weather periods knocked off counting lay time. If you don't do it properly, you're likely, particularly if you over-egg the pudding and say there's been a lot more bad weather time than arguably there really has, you may find a London arbitrator very unsympathetic to that kind of statement of facts, so that any statements of facts in it will be questioned and possibly rejected by him if owners put forward other evidence in the form of weather reports or deck logs which contradict it. So that's the starting place, the statement of facts, and those are the sort of factors which will decide what importance is given to it by an arbitrator. We've had some other points arising in this kind of case in recent London arbitration, and these could be helpful to bear in mind. An owner who's disappointed about how much demurrage he might recover using the lay-time demurrage weather working day tests I've just described may say that if no cargo has been provided, he can bring a claim in general damages and recover a larger sum than he could have done under the demurrage rate. Well, the answer to this is firstly that it seems that if the vessel could become an arrived ship for laytime purposes, there's no breach of charter at all on which an owner could hang a claim for damages. Secondly, even if he did have a claim for damages, once the laytime regime is brought into play, demurrage or liquidated damages will be his only remedy. He cannot claim further losses. He cannot claim a general market rate of damages in excess of the demurrage rate. Thirdly, it may be that you have a particular procedure organised for the loading and it's that which you say has been prevented by the bad weather in question. You may see an owner in response to that saying there was another method of loading available at the load port which would have been possible had you chosen that one. The decision we've seen recently, arbitration, says that whether a day is a good or bad weather working day will be decided by reference to the method of loading you had organised and not the other method that might have been possible had it been chosen. That is an application of the MECO decision. That's an old case, and it's interesting to see that interpreted in a modern arbitration decision, perhaps for the first time we have seen anyway. You may also see owners trying to hang a damages claim on an allegation that bad weather makes a particular place an unsafe port. That kind of thing is unlikely to succeed except in the most extreme of cases, and some substantial delay is not going to make a port generally or a berth an unsafe place for loading. So generally speaking, it's going to be hard for owners to bring claims that are not within the demurrage regime, and the dispute is going to be over whether days are weather working days or non-weather working days, and who can establish what conditions prevailed at any particular time. It's important to have the best evidence you can get from the load port if you're going to succeed with any defence of a demurrage claim, because you're going to be met with an unsympathetic reaction by an arbitrator if there's been a long delay in providing cargo and you don't want to pay for that waiting time.